Hey everybody, it's Kyle here at Laser Everything. Today we are getting started by setting up a brand new lens for our Galvo laser. We're going to be doing our correction, our scale, and our red dot setup as a little bit of a bonus. Everything you need to do with a lens setup. If that's what you need, hang in there because we're getting started right now. Now I have already gone ahead and done a correction video using the new LightBurn tool that they came out with in version 1.5. While that is perfectly valid, there are some added steps that we wanted to include in the process. I'm just going to do everything from start to finish on setting up a brand new lens in LightBurn. One thing I will recommend is you want to make sure that you do not currently have a core file imported and loaded into your configuration. You want to clear that, hit OK, restart LightBurn, and make sure that's completely out of the way. Alright, now we kind of discussed the terms of what we're working on. Now it's time to kind of prep our physical workspace. I have some black tape here from Beam It Up Laserworks. It's fairly cheap per roll, and full disclosure, I bought it myself. It's a great product. It is essentially black masking tape with not crazy adhesive on the back, and it's beautiful because it makes it really easy to see what your laser is marking. It gives you a nice beautiful white mark, and you'll see that as we go forward here. Another option is maybe some black construction paper, like the actual paper style one, not like the smooth waxy surface ones. And the other suggestion I have is go a little bit bigger than you think you need. This is a 200mm lens, but it's probably going to be marking a bit bigger than that. You want to go an extra maybe 50% just to make sure you're not scoring up your whole workspace there, kind of dirtying things up for no reason, and you want to be able to see what you're marking. Now with the physical side of things all set up, we're going to be going into the software side of the setup. We're going to be going up to Laser Tools at the very top, going to Calibrate Galvo Lens, which should give you an option, and we're going to 9-point. Now, in the future, there may be more than 9-point correction, but for now, this is what we're working with. You just put in the area of the lens you want to work with, and it will auto-calculate a percentage of the field for your output box for testing. And once you have that, we're moving into the laser output settings for the parameters. So for my 60-watt laser with this tape, I will be going with 1000 speed, 30 frequency, and 20% power. We're going to go ahead and just get that kind of framed up and check it out. And we're going to go ahead and light it. And it's going to go ahead and run kind of a square test. And we're going to see, and I want you to take note of the dragon logo, the LightBurn logo, on one of the corners. Now you need to know which orientation this is facing when you're looking head on at your laser. The direction it faces and where it is in relation to it is going to help LightBurn determine which axis is which and which orientation your laser is burning and which way is left, which way is right, which way is up, and which way is down. This way you don't have any accidentally reversed axes. So go ahead and just take your time with this. Make sure that you're aware of the orientation that it's burned in, and if you have to, adjust the parameters and burn it again to make sure that you have a good mark. Now we go ahead and we're going to hit next, and that's going to bring us over to the orientation. This is where I was saying you need to know which direction your dragon is facing. Initially, I thought I had it right, and when I referred back to the actual output, I realized I had it backwards. So that was going to accidentally reverse one of the orientations of that axis, and that was going to mess my output up. Moving forward here, we hit next again after we have that selected, and we need to ensure that we measure these and put the measurements in the right numbered value. So you'll notice 6 different lines in this case, and you need to make sure that they are put in the right place for your measurement input. We're going to go ahead and go through, get that measured, and you just need to measure based off of the label that it gives you on the example and put those values in. Don't use my values because they are going to be different from your values for sure. And once we have those input, we're going to go ahead and get our next batch of measurements. So we just did the horizontal as part of our first step there. Now we have to do the vertical measurements. Now we are going in a little bit of a different pattern here. So you're going to want to make sure that your measurement is, again, going into the proper numbered value in comparison to the example that they provide. Take it slow, make sure you're putting the numbers in exactly where they need to be. Now, once we move forward from there, we're greeted with the results page. Now, in the results page, we have our options here where we see our Galvo 1 and our Galvo 2. These are your y-axis and your x-axis, and depending on how your head is wired up, this may change, and it may depend also on which orientation you actually have your laser rotated and how you have your work area set up. You'll see your scale, your bulge, your skew, and all of that for each of the Galvo values. You'll also see a field option where you'll see your max size, your recommended size, and you have an option to maximize your working area. Now you'll notice when you maximize work area, you, at this time at least, only see the scale option changing. Now this is because the bulge and the skew don't really need to change to correct for that, but what it is going to do is increase the field size. If you don't do that, it's going to use the recommended size, which is what the work area recommendation is for the lens that you input when you set up the test. If you maximize the work area, it's going to increase based off of what it deems is possible for your lens without too much correction. Your mileage may vary with this. In this case, I proceeded with maximize. In the last video I covered this in, I did not. Proceed with what you prefer. Once you go through that, you can hit done. In addition, you could take a screenshot of this page if you wanted to save it. And also, what I recommend doing after you complete this and hit OK, it should put the values in automatically on this page. So when you go back into device settings, you'll see the scale, the bulge, and the skew for each Galvo 1 and Galvo 2 should be corrected to the values that were achieved during the test. My recommendation is backing this up. You can do that by basically saving the device values and exporting your preferences, just like you typically would in a normal backup situation. I would do that once you've gone through and set all this up, just so you have a fresh backup in case this were to go missing on you. Now that we have gone ahead and finished up our little correction tool here, we're going to go ahead and validate the next thing that's important. So with corrections, we've gone ahead and corrected for bulge, for skew, for anything that we need with that, but we want to validate the scale. Now this is important because if you're trying to engrave something that has a particular size or has a particular cutout in the center that you don't want to engrave through, or a screw head you want to miss, if you incorporate that into your design, you want to make sure that everything is scaled properly so that you're not completely missing the mark. And in addition to that, everything is appropriate. And this is particularly important depending on the type of jobs you're doing. If it's down to technical specifications or anything like that. That's not really the point of this video. The point of this video is just to make sure that the scale is correct. Now, this can only be as correct as the measurements that you input into it and how consistent you are with finding focus. So if we go ahead and we draw our 200 millimeter square onto our test material here and we mark it, we're going to go ahead and go back into the device settings, and we now have a known value that should be 200 millimeters square in both the X and Y axis. In device settings under Galvo 1 and Galvo 2, you'll now see a button. So to the right of scale %, you're going to see 3 dots. Now this is the new tool where if you click on that, you can now adjust the requested size versus the measured size, and it will auto adjust your scale for that axis. So for example, we're adjusting the x-axis here. Our requested size was 200, like I made the square for, and now we just need to go and measure across the x-axis to see what our actual output was. So because this is far bigger than my caliper can handle, I am back to using the ruler again, and I know you guys can't really see it too well, but we are a little bit off here on mine. We are 197.5. So I'm going to just simply put that into the measured size, and you'll notice that there is a current scale and an adjusted scale, and that's going to adjust after you hit OK. And now we just need to do the same for the y-axis. So we're going to measure, we're going to go back to the tool, we're going to hit the 3 dots, and we're going to put in our requested size of 200. Our measured size was 199 in this case, so pretty close, but a little off. We can do better, and we can see the current versus the adjusted scale %, much closer this time, and we're going to click OK, and that should be it for scale. I do want to thank one of our LMA members for bringing this tool up into the light for us, because this is something that we actually missed. We completely did not see this one coming. So big thanks to Spike Curtis on the LMA who brought this to our attention. This way we can bring it to everybody's attention. What I like to do after this, just to make sure once again, is I like to do another square with another common size. So in my case, I'm knocking it down to 100 just to make it fast, make it easy. And we're going to go ahead and mark it one more time. We're going to measure. And in this case, we are spot on 100 millimeters on both the Y and the X. That's it. That's it for correction. But wait, there's more. So the keen eye among you may have noticed, and maybe not, but the red dot is now just a bit off on my laser. Now, if we pull up the settings here, you'll see that the offset and the scale already have some values that are changed. Now, this is from a setup from the Mark config that I imported for this laser for this lens. It's a little bit off now. I'm gonna go ahead and reset the scale. The offset's fine, but the scale is just, it's too big. So we're gonna drop it down. We're gonna test it by framing it again, and now it's a little small. So now I need to go back up a little bit. So I'm gonna kind of split that value. I'm just gonna go up a little bit, and we frame it again, and that's just right. Perfect. That gives me the thumbs up on that. So I guess that's it. That is the entirety of a lens being set up. So we covered correction, doing our scale validation to make sure that our scale output is perfect, and we also did our red dot adjustment as another bonus. All-inclusive lens video. I hope that helps you out. If you got value out of this video, please smash that like button, get subscribed, hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next video that we upload. And if you're interested in what our team has done, please check out the Laser Master Academy, where you can help support our vision, support what we do, and helping out the community. Great people there. We love everyone, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you for that. And in addition, if LMA is not your flavor, go ahead and check out the Discord and Facebook communities, where you can join for free, get help, and talk to other like-minded individuals who just love lasers. That's it for this one. We'll see you all in the next one, and everyone have a beautiful day.